So camera wasn't really working in the garage. It was having audio issues, so hopefully this is fine. But we're gonna be recording with my phone. So just woke up. Hair's a mess. Hopefully I'm pointing in the right spot. Ooh, and I'm in the jams. But anyways, this video is not what I want to make, but I have to make it. So 240 is finally for sale. I have zero time to pretty much show this car to anybody that actually wants to check it out. So I'm going to make a YouTube video on it. I'm going to start it up and go over all the issues and what needs to be addressed and all that stuff. Because like I said, Sunday is my only time off. As for you guys that don't know, I live in Utah now and I work 612s. I do telecom, so long days. Underground telecom, by the way. I'm not a tower climber, but yeah, let's go over the 240. So two things. The only thing that is bad on it is the ignition switch, which I have right here. And it loses coolant, but it's weird. So I can't tell if it's a head gasket or if it's something normal. I don't know. I have had zero time to figure it out because when I'm driving, it's just fine. It doesn't overheat, but if it's idling for like 5-10 minutes, it'll slowly build up in temperature and get to like the 200s and then slowly build up to like 205 and then I just turn it off. But it doesn't usually hit 205 for like 30 minutes. But like I said, I could be driving and it stays at the same temperature just fine. So I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I figured I'd address it. So I'm going to take a couple $1,000s off of my asking price just to, make up for it in case there is something catastrophic, which I doubt. But it all runs healthy. I'll try to crank the car over. It's been like 2 weeks since I've turned it on. Like I said, I've just been doing nothing but working, so it kind of sucks. But the whole point of me selling this car is because I'm going to be going to school. So, yeah. And I want a down payment on a house when I'm done with school. I'm going to be doing trades, so I'll be going in for IT. Not too exciting, but it's what I want to do, and it's better than construction, so that's what we will be doing. But let me make sure this thing is still recording. Okay, it is, sweet. So let me go over everything. So it's got a standalone ECU. Pretty sure it's standalone because obviously it doesn't have a mass airflow sensor that it runs off of, and you could tune it whenever you want and fix the turbo timing and the idle and this Apexi thing. I don't know. I wasn't the one that actually got it tuned, so I never really had the chance to learn it. I just drove the car and enjoyed it while I had it. Yeah, it's on Airlift Performance Management, and I bought the entire kit for the air suspension off of AirTech. So it's pretty good. It was like maybe a $3,500 kit that me and my buddy installed, and it's solid. Probably get like 8 inches of ride height out of it. If it's probably a lot. Sorry, it's probably 6. But I've done a lot. It's got AEM water gauges in it. And like I was saying, the airlift. And then this is the tuner. It just sits in here. But yeah, it's pretty mint interior. And then the AEM gauges that I installed. And yeah, steering wheel. All right, one second. I think my camera's missing. All right, but yeah, door cards. Door cards are mint. There's the ignition switch, and then the fans are off of a switch as well. Airlift still has a new screen on it. The gauges. My plan was to actually change this little back plate out, but I never got around to it, and now I'm selling the car. Seats are still mint. Back seats just need to be cleaned out. Let's do a walk around in the car. This is a Rocket Bunny kit off of rb25 that I actually myself picked up in Irvine. It's got the 180SX taillights, custom built Work VS SS wheels that I got done when I was in Corona, California. No curb rash or anything on the wheels. It's got the Z32 brakes and calipers. A Cybon carbon fiber hood that I myself picked up in City of Industry in California, which was another $1,500. The Rocket Bunny kit itself was actually pretty expensive. It was like I think it was $2,700 after tax and all that. So it all adds up. But yeah, I just need to clean the wheels. I hit it with a normal car wash and all the dirty water stayed, but I didn't take it through the drive-through. I took it through the pressure washer, not the gross one. And then it's got like little blemishes here and there. This was from the previous owner. I assume someone probably tried getting in. And then wheels are good. Like I said, car's a little dirty. It could be cleaned up a little bit. And then this is a new seat. This is a blue seat. And then here is that door handle to replace it. So, like I said, I had a lot of plans for this car. I was actually looking at going and getting the RB rebuilt because I couldn't figure out the coolant issue. So I was like, I might as well just send it all in because I was going to do it anyways. But that'll be for the next person if they want to get it done. Like I said, you can still drive it and run it and do all that fun stuff. It's just every now and then it'll have that little issue where you have to stop and just add coolant. But it's like hit or miss when it happens. So it's weird. I don't know what the issue is, and I want to make sure whoever buys this knows. So I figured I'd make this video. Car's registered in South Dakota. If you wanted to keep it in South Dakota, I could do that. And then HKS high flow exhaust. I have the silencer in that box of parts right here. So yeah, I'm trying to do a good walk around. I'll get the car turned on and off so you guys can hear it. And let's see. I have like RB parts in here and all that fun stuff. There's that silencer. But yeah, let's see if it focuses. There we go. Airlines. This is 60 feet of airlines, so if anything happens, you can replace it. Oh yeah, another thing. Headlight relocation kit. So when I did the Tux radiator, let's go ahead and pop the hood. Sorry, I'm recording by myself, so I'm recording by myself and on my phone, so it's definitely a little weird to flip the phone around and do all that, but here it is. Tucked radiator. This is a 1750 CFM Mishimoto fan, and then this is a 1250. I was gonna go dual 750s, but because of the way the fan's set up, it doesn't work. And then this is custom bolted to the chassis. I had someone come out, cut and weld, and then seal it properly and get the tucked radiator in there. And then I'm running the tucked radiator. I can't think of the name, but it's the cap. I had to cut the hood for it. And then it's got the swirl pot. So ready intake. I'm not sure what intercooler this is. This is from the previous owner. I'm sure it's like some eBay one, but it's in there. So the plan originally was to drop this intercooler so it sits more flush in the bumper because it sits so high, and I wanted this gap gone, but can't do that because I'm selling it. So plan was drop the intercooler, get a new intercooler piping set up, get a new turbo. I wanted to go top mount and then go from there. I was shooting for a 450 horsepower build, but won't be doing that. So there's just some little stuff that I kind of cut corners on, like just like this, just because I was so excited to install it. So the airlines, I could put them out. The plan was to put them inside the fender when winter comes around and when I'm off for work. But I just put these in here pretty quick just because I needed the gauges, because the actual temp sensor in there on the gauge doesn't work. So I run off of these. This is the top radiator hose, and this is the bottom radiator hose. So I could tell if the thermostat's open or not as well and working. As for the gauge, the gas tank works, the kilometers work, and the speedometer. I mean, the RPM gauge is the only one that doesn't work, and then that gauge doesn't work. But let's show you guys sorry, I lost you. The air tank and setup in the back. So we got a battery relocation as well. We got, I think this is a 10-gallon tank, 2 compressors, the management, and yeah, that fun stuff. It still has the privacy cover in it. I tried my best to get all the interior. The only thing I'm missing is the radio speaker covers, but it didn't bother me too much. So I was gonna get new mats for it and do all that as well. So it'd also come with a fan, and then all the parts that I've been talking about I'm gonna throw in as well, just because I have no use for them. So yeah, let's get the garage open. Let's make sure no cars are in the way, and I will show you guys the ignition switch issue and show you guys a drive around of the car, and hopefully the motor doesn't sound funny over camera. I know the camera picks up like different things, so it'll sound like something's probably ticking or broken, but it's not like that in person. But for the person that actually comes out and test drives it and sees, you'll see that sound's not actually there. So let me try to close this hood. Do two hands, and then I like to put one hand on this corner, one hand on this corner, and just gently like push down like that. So yeah, once I get a better walk around of the car, I'll get it all situated. But yeah, this video is going to be long. I don't plan on it to be like an entertainment video. This is entirely just so I can show whoever's watching this the car, and you guys can see my face. Just so, you know, I don't know, you can just tell that this is my car, and yeah, whatever the case may be. But like I said, I have no time to test drive this. Sundays will be my only free time if I even have it. So that's my whole point of this. I still want to have whoever's buying it, obviously, to test drive the car and feel it out. But in case I have zero time to show you guys the car, and whatever your time frame looks like in your amount of time, you can watch this video. All right, we are back in the car in 0.5, so it's going to look funny. But look at that. Beautiful skies out here in Utah. You do not see that in Cali. But car is out of the way. I have a drive path now, so we're going to try to show you guys the ignition switch. While the key's in, let me pull that out. I hear the chime. Chime still works. But let's go over the issues again, just so I don't forget. Ignition switch, and then the coolant issue that could either be worst case scenario head gasket, or, you know, small case scenario, a hose that has a pinhole leak in it that I can't find. Anyways, I wanted to ask $25,000 for the car, but I'm just gonna ask $22,000 for the car. Just it's an extra $3,000 to get it fixed. And if you're complaining about the price, then it probably isn't the car for you. Another KA car that's rocket bunnied on bags as well, just sold for $25,000 or $26,000 out in Cali. So I'm not asking too much, I don't think, especially with the drivetrain that's in it, with the rb25. All the parts add up, so I mean, I wouldn't complain. But anyways, ignition switch, coolant, and then I feel like there's something else. Oh, it has a salvage title from the previous owner because it got hit on the fender and insurance sold it for some reason, but that was from the previous owner and it's been repaired. And if you're concerned about a salvage title, then this probably isn't the car for you, and you probably shouldn't buy an S chassis. But this is one of the cleaner S chassis that you'll find on the market. It's got clean interior and an rb25, and most of its interior is still here, and it comes with a brand new seat with no rips or tears. I don't know if you can see them here, but this one has a small tear from all the ins and outs, and that's what that seat was going to be. That's right in front of me. But yeah, let's show you guys this ignition switch issue. Hopefully it, like I said, I don't want it to happen, but I got to show you that it happened. So if it turns on first try, I'll turn the car off and I'll try to make it to where it does it. So when the ignition switch stops working, it'll just click like every time you go to turn the key, and then it'll finally be that one turn that just turns on the car. That's what that little switch is. To get to it, you have to take the steering column off, and then I think you have to just plug it in. But I have a few gauges that are wired to it, so I never got around to it. But if you wanted to get it done, I got quoted by a shop out here, $150, an actual performance shop, not just like a random mom and pop shop. They actually have S chassis and 350Zs and a whole bunch of stuff that they work on, because there's a local track out here too. So I got quoted $150 to get it replaced, and they've done it before. So let's get to it. There we go. So it needs a tune. That's why it has a weird idle. I was messing with this at some point, so that's why it does that. But it turned on first try. I did not want it to turn on first try, but it did. So while I'm here, I'm going to show you how loud the actual car is, because it's pretty loud. And then let's show you what the ride height's like. So right now we're aired out. I'll take a video again when we have air, but we're going to go up. It's probably going to shoot up to 100 and then drop back down to 80. Compressor's loud, by the way, so hopefully you can hear my voice over this. I'm speaking louder than I think I have to, but calibrated, but let's show you the outside. I'm sure you won't hear me, so I'm not going to talk, but I'm going to show you the idle on it and all that. And here's the gauges, 72 and 61. It's cold right now, and the fans are off. So let's give you guys a look. It's gonna take a while for it to slowly build up to idle, so I'm gonna let it build up to like 160 and 140 or 180 and 160, and then I'll show you guys a video and take the car out. So let's get to it. So we're gonna go on a drive. If I forget to mention something in this video and you're watching this, just ask me and I'll help you out. This was originally a California car. It actually always was its whole life. It never was from South Dakota or Utah. I just have it registered in South Dakota, and I moved to Utah a month ago, and I got this car from Cali all the way up to here, so I'm in my neighborhood. I'm not going to pull it too hard until I get on the main road, but it's 9 in the morning, almost 9. So let's show you guys the car. Lighting's funny, so I don't care if I look weird. I'm not making this video for entertainment, so don't care too much. It's been a long time since I actually made a video, so we shall see. We'll see what this is like, but I look probably different. I have a mullet now, and my face is all different. So we're currently at 155 and 113, so it's gonna take a second to get up to temp. It's cold out here in Utah right now. Winter season's kicking up, so yeah. So alright, so temperatures are at 157, 141 right now. It's kind of cold to be driving on it, so I'm not gonna drive too hard, but hopefully you guys can hear all the cool turbo noises. So let's get it. Here we go. So I actually turned the turbo down just a little bit. This video is shaky as heck. Sorry. So video's turned. Stands back on. All right. Sorry, distracted. So that actually didn't sound too crazy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it back onto a different tune setting that I had, so it sounds appropriate. So let's do that real quick. All right, so we're back and tuned. We're at back to 10 psi. So here we go, back at 161, 142. So let's get it. It's gonna be shaky. So hopefully you can hear everything. Yeah, it's been a while, but definitely missed this car. So that was a pretty decent pull. I think I probably either hit 90 or 100 right there. So let's show you guys the temps. Turn this around. Hopefully you can see it. I'm in the front. 164, 140, and looks like it's cooling back down. So I'm not having the coolant issue right now. So that's what makes me think it's not a head gasket, just because it barely happens and I can't figure it out. But I want to say it's a head gasket as worst case scenario, just so it's like cool. If it is a head gasket, then it's a head gasket, but I don't want to tell somebody it's, you know, something small if it is a head gasket. So I figured if it's a head gasket, cool. If not, then someone just scored if they just figured out the cooling issue. But like I said, now I'm back down to 159, 140. So this thing stays cold, but every now and then it'll lose coolant for whatever reason. So don't know why. 160 and this says 138, so it's not getting hot. But sometimes, like some days, I could drive it and then it'll just start shooting up in heat. But that's only happened like maybe 1 out of 10 times I take it out. But I still figured I'd bring it up just because it is an issue and needs to be brought up. So, all right, so I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes now. Car hasn't overheated, so great. Well, I make it sound like it's a bad thing that it's not overheating, but it is, because I want to show you guys that it overheats sometimes, but it's rare. It's really rare when it happens, but I'm hoping that when it happens is in this video, just so I could feel like I disclosed it. But it's not overheating now. It's sitting at 160 and 138 still. And I've been sitting in the same spot for 10 minutes, just idling, so it's doing fine. And I just did a pretty hard pull on it, as you'll see in the video. I rewatched it while I've been sitting here, and it doesn't sound as good on camera as it does in person. So hopefully I had time to test drive it with somebody that actually wants to come out and check it out. So yeah, I figured I'd make this video. So if anyone wants to see it, cool. I don't want to make a crazy description because I hate reading and writing, so I do need to get better at it, but this works out too, instead of reading a giant description. So I'm showing you guys the parts instead of making a giant thing that you have to read. I'm just gonna keep it simple. So yeah, no AC, obviously. I don't know what you're expecting. There's no AC. This is a race car. It has Bluetooth and aux, normal radio. It'll come with a fire extinguisher, maybe. So yeah, this is it. Sitting at 160 and 138, so she won't get hot. So we're gonna drive her around a little more and maybe a little harder and see if we can get her to operating temps. So I'm gonna get to that. So let's get to this. Let me check, make sure we're still at ride height. Yeah, no leaks. We're still at 80, in the 80s is what I had it set to. It fluctuates as you drive just because it can't make a proper reading. So let's do a quick little pull. We'll hit an actual main road and not my main road neighborhood. So yeah, this thing's pulling hard. I think I set the boost a little high, so I'm gonna have to turn the boost down a bit. But we're at 162 and 150, so we cruising. So it's gonna be a very shaky video, but we're on a main road now, so let's turn it up. Show you guys the camera. We're sitting at 163 right now and 150, so nothing too crazy. I'll probably get out in a little bit and take pictures and do a walk around to the car again, just so I can have pictures for my ad. But yeah, this thing is not heating up, so we're good. Last time I took it out, it heated up, but I take it out like once a month. I barely drive this thing. That's another reason I'm selling it. So who knows, maybe after school I'll buy an R32. I've always wanted a Skyline or an R33, so we shall see. But for now, I'm gonna go to school, focus on school, hopefully secure a job, buy a house, and then get a Skyline. So this car was fun when I had it, while I had it. I've had it for almost 2 years now, and I've done a lot to it, so it's definitely sad having to let it go, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So if it doesn't sell, and God's got it all worked out perfectly, you know, if I don't get my asking price for it, why am I gonna let it go? Because I put a lot of money into it, including what I paid for it. And I know with cars, you don't usually see your money back when you put crazy amounts in, but it's enough to justify the price. So probably won't, because that's my luck. But just know that this car is running perfectly fine right now. But every now and then, for some reason, I can't figure it out. It'll slowly overheat at idle or whatever the case may be, and then the ignition switch, and like I said, salvage title. If you're worried about the salvage title, don't buy a 90s car, because you usually buy these cars for drifting or to build for show. I'm going to continue to record, and hopefully you guys can enjoy. I'm on a beautiful main road right now, so I'll flip the camera around and try to get some footage for you. This is 240. Hopefully the next person enjoys this thing, and I probably will cry when I get rid of it. This has been a nearly 2-year project, and one of the cars that I've actually been blessed to actually put a lot of money into. Let me roll the windows up so hopefully you can hear me. I'll caption it if you can't. But this is just one of those cars that, you know, I've had a couple S13. This is actually, sorry, I had one S13, kept it stock. I went from a single cam to a dual cam KA. That was fun. I was sad when I sold that, and I've had an S14. Sad when I sold that as well, but I didn't put a lot of money into those cars, you know. I didn't do a lot. This S13 was one of those cars that I was like, okay, it's got an rb25 in it. I want to build it, and it just, I want it, you know. So it was a dream of mine to build a Rocket Bunny car and to have something that was swapped into it. And yes, the swap was already done, but everything else wasn't. This was a stock body car. The only thing done to it was some knockoff wheels, and it had what was it, coilovers on it. But me and my friends, we just built this car pretty much from the ground up nearly. And yeah, it sucks having to let it go. So like I said, I think everything works out. I don't want to sell this car, but you know, I want to buy a house. I want to do, you know, adult things, and I can't be thinking of myself. I'm engaged, and you know, when it comes down to it, I only want this car for me, you know. I'm the one that enjoys it and I have fun with it. Yeah, people look at me and they think it's cool, but I don't care about that, you know. I want to have a fun, happy life, which the 240 is fun, but it's not something that I need in life right now. I do construction, I make great money, but it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life, you know. I want to make sure that I'm set and that I'm happy what I'm doing. So I'm going to go I'm going to go to school for IT and probably for more electronical stuff, technical, and yeah, I think I'll end up getting something else in the future. I've always wanted the Mark V Super since they came out, but I've driven those and I know that my 240 is more fun. And this is one of those cars that I feel is personalized and customized to me. It's not like a cookie cutter build. So I'm happy with this car. So like I said, if it sells, great. If not, great, because I want to keep it. So I know the best is going to happen, and what's supposed to happen is going to happen. So I'm not too concerned. All I know is that if it sells, great. I'm making this video so you guys can see everything. The issues, if they even happen in this video, which I doubt. The ignition switch for sure always happens though. But the coolant, I'll lose it sometimes, and then sometimes it'll heat up at idle, but I've had zero issues with it. So this is it, you know. This is the 240. I love this car. I'd hate to get rid of it, but you know, if the money that I want to get for it is there, then I have to take it, you know. So I've been driving for a while now. We're at 161 still. The fans are on, but it could be the temperature out here in Utah as well. I believe it's about 70 degrees right now, or 60 degrees. It rained last night, so yeah, we're gonna get this car turned around and back home. I went pretty far off course, farther than I wanted to, but that's fine because I wanted to show off the car. So we're gonna go get some good pictures and find a good spot to, you know, get some pictures for the ad. So let's get to it. Lighting is weird. I have the sunlight directly on it, so let's just go like this. There look at you, they'll give you a thumbs up or try to pull me over, but I don't really care. It's cool. Like I said, it's cool, but I just kind of like driving this car for me. Like I said, this is my only day off, and the fact that I get to drive this car is making me happy right now, just because my schedule is I wake up at 4:30, I have an hour drive to work, then I start working, and we usually work longer than 12s. So I'll do my 12 hours, and then I have another hour to hour and a half drive home, depending on traffic. And then I shower, I eat, and I go to bed. This is not a sob story, by the way. I'm just telling you how it is, just because that's how it is. You know, I have no time. I can't drive this car, and I want to go to school. So school's not that much. It's only going to cost me $3,000, but I'm going to probably be working some part-time job, and I know it's not going to. It's going to be fine, but I'm not going to be able to go do the stuff that I want to do. So for those of you that don't know, I like shooting. I love guns. After this sells, if it does sell, I plan on getting a Ruger 338 Lapua. I already have other guns that I go shooting with, so if it sells, great. If not, then like I said, cool. I said that for the third time, but I do not care. This is going to be a long video, so I hope whoever's watching it watches the whole thing, just so I don't have to answer a bunch of questions. I feel I've pretty much gone over everything. Mileage on the chassis. So mileage on the chassis I think is like 216, but the kilometers, so remember kilometers are a lot less in numbers, or no, kilometers are higher